The name of our lesson. This is not an easy walk. This Shabbat, we should bring forth a much needed lesson in this hour for Hebrew Israelites all over the world. On the very day that the Most High blessed you with the knowledge and understanding of who you truly are and who He truly is, each and every one of us, we all made a conscious decision, a very important decision at that point. Would you, with all of your heart and with all of your soul, turn back into the Most High and obey Him? Would you risk throwing away all the traditions of men and they man-made religions to become a faithful servant of the Most High? Were you willing to be an outcast amongst your own blood relatives and close friends and associates because the old you had to die? If any of y'all came to that decision when you first began your walk with the Most High, if any of y'all been there, put a 7 up in this room. Let me know that y'all know exactly what Brother Jacob is talking about. Todah, continuing. The old you had to die. You know, the one who loves some crispy bacon for breakfast and them pork chops for dinner. That old you. The one who loved to put on that hoochie mama outfit and sit up in the club drinking and smiling and laughing and popping fingers with more makeup on than Cleopatra. Then going out on that dance floor and shaking hips and rear end regions on the dance floor so seductively that Negroes started howling like wolves and licking their eyebrows. And you loved the attention. Whoo, look at you walk across them floor in them high heels. And you brothers, that old you had to die. You know that one that used to stand out on the corner when you had your Hey Boo license? Hey Boo. Hey Boo. I'm like, man, what is all this hey booing going on? Negroes lying and whispering. You know how you used to be. What's your name, shawty? Hey Boo. Smanu, y'all got excellent experience in that. DJ'd up in basements and clubs and places where the lights was dimmed. Couldn't be trusted around women back in them days. The old you had to die. And that was going to cause a problem. When you truly started your walk with the Most High in many shapes, forms, and fashions. The old you had to die. And you had to be spiritually reborn and put away a lot of your old way of doing things. Brother Jacob here to tell you, whether you've been on this journey with Yah for 50 days or 50 years, this is not an easy walk, Zion. For only a few, the remnant, shall be able to stay upon the path in this walk with Yah, which leads to eternal life. Yahushua made this point very clear. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. Because I believe somebody going to get some understanding pertaining to these serious spiritual matters this Shabbat. Yeshua said this, Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14, we read, "Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it." So it's the few, the remnant, that will stay upon the chosen path all the way to the kingdom. And each and every one of you are on that path in this hour. I've been in this walk with the Most High for 31 years now. And I've testified to many of our sleepwalking brothers and sisters, and have seen the parable of the sower fulfilled before my own eyes. Let's go to Matthew chapter 13, verses 18 through 23. With all your getting, get understanding. In the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verses 18 through 23, we read, "Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heard the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside." Now that's that Israelite you talk to. And I might hear a little something pertaining to the truth and the Most High Yah. But they forget about it that fast and right back into the world. He received that seed you was trying to plant by the wayside. Verse 20. "But he that received the seed in the stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. Yet hath he not root in himself, but endureth for a while." He hang for a little bit. "For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. That's that brother that you tell him about the Most High and Yahushua, we the Israelites. And man, we got to do this in order to please the most. We got to do that in order to please the most. He hang for a minute. But when that trouble come knocking and persecution is at the door, they can't handle it. They get offended by the word because they feel it brought the tribulation and the persecution. They out of there. That's that one that took seed in the stony places. But he didn't have root in himself. He couldn't endure. So that's why he fell on by the wayside. If there's anybody in this room that understood that, put a 77 up in her. It's important that you know this, Zion. Torah. Continuing. Verse 22. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heard the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he become unfruitful. That's that Hebrew that you can spit some truth and knowledge and wisdom, but he thinking about slamming Cadillac doors. He thinking about stocking Ben Franklin's. Under the table, over the table, on the side of the table, he don't care. The cares of this world, he's so caught up, the word can't take root in him. That's that Hebrew that received the seeds among the thorns. And verse 23. But he that receives seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Now that's that Israelite like yourself, who heard the word. That seed was planted in fertile, good ground, and you understood it. So much to the point, you shared the word. And that also bare fruit from your testimony. It went forth. And it brought back fruit. Some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30. You are the Israelites who received seed into the good ground. And you know and love the Most High Yah and seek his kingdom. Yet you also know the fiery trial that you must face on this walk with Yah. Now many of y'all know the sting of telling a Hebrew of their true heritage and sharing some knowledge and wisdom, which was rejected because your family members and your friends and your associates would rather keep and serve the man-made traditions of men that had been handed down to them. If any of y'all is familiar with that, put an 8 up in her. No matter how much you told them, they ain't want to hear it. No matter how much you showed them in their Bible, when you blew the dust off of it, you like you ain't opened this up in years. Here, I'm going to read this out your Bible. They ain't want to see it. They wasn't trying to hear it. Torah. So many of y'all know that feeling because they would rather keep and serve the man-made traditions of men that have been handed down to them from their mama and their big mama and big mama mama. And they ain't trying to hear what you got to say. Now check this. Because you chose not to keep their pagan days, Easter and Christmas with them, and chose instead to keep that which you read in the Holy Bible that the Most High told you to keep. Because of this, you became the outcast. When you first started your walk with the Most, your people thought you lost your mind. What you mean you ain't keeping Christmas? Boy, you better bring some presents over here. No, mama, I ain't with that no more. That's paganism. I don't care what that say. Beef kicking off, you ain't been in the Word but 5 minutes. Boy, you going in there eating. No, mama, I don't want none of that fat back and green. Boy, you been eating my fat back and green. Well, mama, from this day forward, I don't want no more of yours or nobody else's fat back and greens. Another problem. They run an account on you. Now, y'all know when y'all leave, they talking about you bad. I remember that nigga was stealing now later's little snotty nose. He was trouble back then, and I knew he was going to lose his mind now. Bring me some of them greens in here. Y'all know y'all getting talked about bad, right? This ain't no easy walk. Now these people that you care about, your loved ones. So you know how these Hebrews on the street is. That's why some of y'all find yourselves in communities where you ain't even don't know a Hebrew in the vicinity. Some of y'all got to come up in here to hook up with a spiritual Israelite, a spiritually conscious Hebrew Israelites. We few and far between. Now, how you going to explain to grandmama that you ain't giving your babies Christmas when she know how excited you was on Christmas and she bought you everything that you wanted? Grandma don't want to hear it. She ready to slap your head off. Ain't gonna give them babies no Christmas. You send him over here, child. They sending you from one family member to the other. They want to break you down. And you tell all of them, no, I ain't with it, so go on and forget it. Over there rhyming, they over there smoking them weeds. That's what they doing. You know, y'all got some of everything put on y'all. Y'all caught cases. Y'all ain't even dead. Who they been talking to? Talking about them shaloms. What's all them shaloms about? They like they straight in a cult. So there you are. Now you the black sheep. Now you the outcast. Family reunions is tension. Family get-togethers is tension. You always got that cousin or that uncle who gets some of that coon juice up in them, you know, that brown liquor. Or maybe a little bit too much of that wine or whatever they like to indulge in. And they like to stir it up. They come over there, Shalom, Hebrew! Knowing that's going to tear up aunties' faces and cousins. And there you go. They like the spotlight on you in front of everybody. Let me say this again. This ain't no easy walk. If any of y'all can relate to what Brother Jacob is saying, can somebody put a 100 up in her? Because I know I ain't the only one who walked in these moccasins or whatever them Tonto them be wearing. Toda. Continuing. So yeah, you became the outcast. This ain't an easy walk. For you must endure persecutions. Can't be like that brother that didn't have root in himself, that seed that fell in stony places. He only endured for a while. We must endure to the end, my friend. Persecutions, temptations, trials, and tribulations. And sometimes the Most High is going to even give you some chastening and scourging while you're on this spiritual journey. Let me say that again. Sometimes on this walk, the Most High is going to give you some chastening, some chin checks, slow your rolls, and some scourging. That's them whippings. The Most High going to put it on you on this spiritual journey that you on. As soon as you became a true servant of Yah, the devil immediately went on the attack against you. Some of y'all can recall these things. When you first got into the Word, seemed like bad luck kind of things started happening out of nowhere. Seemed like you turned to the left, you should have turned to the right. You turned to the right, you should have went left. Phone ringing, crazy calls. People mad at you. When you became a true servant of the Most High, our enemy Hashatan immediately went on the attack against you. I often tell awakening Hebrews to be prepared for what's to come. For it's not for the weak-kneed and the faint of heart. You know, them non-believers. It ain't for them. They not going to get this. Let me say that again plainly. Be prepared for what's to come. For I often tell my young Israelite brethren, it's not for the weak-kneed and a faint of heart non-believers. Because all the devil got to do is stir that Negro one time to straighten him out. Stir him one time, he take off like a jackrabbit. I can't stand these cowardly Negroes running around her. They'll sell you out for chicken change. A 2-piece and a biscuit. Ain't that what James Brown song about on that one jam, The Big Payback? Sold me out for chicken change? Yes, he did. They were selling Negroes out for chicken change back when James Brown made that jam. They were selling Hebrews out for chicken change during the days of the Messiah. And they selling Hebrews out for chicken change during these times, Zion. You cowardly Negroes better stay away from me. Because see, if we at a meeting or an assembly and I look over, I'll be like, man, who was that over in that corner? Blinking like somebody that threw sawdust up in his eyes. What is he over there twitching and looking around for? We gonna have to You know, you could be a Boston bomber. We got to question you. Sitting there, hands sweating and rubbing together. We're like, man, he got epilepsy? Has he been smoted with something? Who is that? Get that Negro up out of her. Who brought him up in her? The Most High ain't never dealt with cowards. Yeshua out on that water, is a boat rocking. Peter them up in there hollering, save us! Save us! Somebody hollered, there go a ghost! It was Yeshua walking across the water, coming towards the boat, on the Sea of Galilee. And Peter said, Master, can I come out there with you? And Yeshua said, yes, come on. And the mother brother sitting on the boat, man, Peter crazy as hell, he gonna go out in that water. But Peter always want to be the leader of the gang. He climbed over the rail. And he was cool for about a step and a half. Faith was good. But he thought he saw a shark right there out the corner of his eye. And faith fled like the wind. Knees started buckling. And before he knew it, the water was up in his nostrils. He was begging to be saved. The Messiah just reached down and pulled him up. Cowardice don't pay when you're dealing with the Most High, Zion. For if this heathen feel he can scare you to death, he'll have you shut this connection down and you'll never talk to another Israelite in your life. You must be spiritually strapped to be a true servant of the Most High Yah. Because when you chose up sides, when you start calling on the Father by his name, and Yahushua by his name, you made an enemy of Satan the devil and all his many minions who suck his paps. And it's their sworn duty to come after the servants of the Most High in any and every way they can. I'll say again, this is not an easy walk, Zion. Many of you can recall when you began your walk, bad things that started happening in relationships with your family members, on the job, on the streets. Whether you knew it or not, you became an active member in the spiritual warfare between the Most High and Satan. And the devil was coming at you in full force to get you to reject the Most High and go back into the world. You know you miss clubbing. You know you miss having 7, 8 women's. You know you miss doing this. You know you miss doing that. You want to go back into the world, don't you? Many of you heard the truth of who you are and where you from, and was blessed with understanding and couldn't wait to tell somebody. If that's the truth, put a 7 up in her. Couldn't y'all not wait to go tell somebody about who they was and where they from? It was like your spirit was set on fire. Torah. Continue. There is a price to pay for telling it. It's called the fiery trial. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 10 through 13. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 10 through 13. We read, as every man hath received the gift, the truth, that blessed, precious wisdom that's more valuable than fine gold. As every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of Yah. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Yah. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Yah giveth, that Yah in all things may be glorified through Yeshua HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happening to you. Oh yeah, you gonna come across some bridges that's gonna be burned, gonna be bombed. You gonna come across some sparks, and whoo, the longer you in this walk, the more you'll understand. But don't think it a strange thing that you are encountering this, as though something strange is happening unto you. Verse 13, but rejoice inasmuch as you are partakers of Mashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. Trials and tribulations will sometimes be companions with you as you stay upon the spiritual path that you have chosen, Yisrael. And along with that comes persecution. Our ancestors endured it, and so must we. Daniel was persecuted during his walk with the Most High and was cast into the lion's den. The mother and her 7 sons were persecuted by that uncircumcised Greek tyrant, Antiochus Epiphanes, because they wouldn't eat pig meat in Jerusalem and were publicly tortured to death. We must learn and know our history in order to learn from our ancestors' examples. Let's go to the 4 Maccabees, chapter 18, verses 1 through 24. Now, I know many of y'all don't have 4 Maccabees 18 sitting up in front of you, but we're going to provide it for you, courtesy of our hard-working Aki Shmanu Yah, that you can read right along with us. and 4 Maccabees, chapter 18. And post these one verse at a time, Aki. Verses 1 through 24. We read, verse 1. O Israelite children, offspring of the seed of Abraham, obey this law and exercise piety in every way, knowing that devout reason is master of all emotions, not only of sufferings from within, but also of those from without. Verse 3. Therefore, those who gave over their bodies in suffering for the sake of religion were not only admired by mortals, but also were deemed worthy to share in a divine inheritance. Because of them, the nation gained peace, and by reviving observance of the law in the homeland, they ravaged the enemy. Remember, the Greeks had come into Jerusalem. Antiochus defiled our temple and our sanctuary, for he slayed a hog on the altar in Jerusalem. Then he took this Hebrew mother and her 7 sons and made a public spectacle in their gruesome torture and death for the refusal of eating pig's meat for the king's pleasure. Verse 5. The tyrant Antiochus was both punished on earth and is being chastised after his death, since in no way whatever was he able to compel the Israelites to become pagans and to abandon their ancestral customs. He left Jerusalem and marched against the Persians. The mother of 7 sons expressed also these principles to her children. They stayed true to the path. They stayed upon the walk. Verse 7. This is what the mother told her 7 sons. I was a pure virgin and did not go outside my father's house, but I guarded the rib from which woman was made. No seducer corrupted me on a desert plain, nor did the destroyer, the deceitful serpent, defile the purity of my virginity. In the time of my maturity, I remained with my husband, and when these sons had grown up, their father died. A happy man was he, who lived out his life with good children, and did not have the grief of bereavement. While he was still with you, he taught you the law and the prophets. He read to you about Abel slain by Cain, and Isaac, who was offered as a burnt offering, and about Joseph in prison. He told you of the zeal of Phineas, and he taught you about Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael in the fire. He praised Daniel in the den of the lions and blessed him. He reminded you of the scripture of Isaiah, which says, even though you go through the fire, the flame shall not consume you. He sang to you songs of the psalmist David, who said, many are the afflictions of the righteous. He recounted to you Solomon's proverb. There is a tree of life for those who do his will. He confirmed the query of Ezekiel. Shall these dry bones live? For he did not forget to teach you the song that Moshe taught, which says, I kill and I make alive. This is your life and the length of your days. Verse 20. Oh, bitter was that day, and yet not bitter, when that bitter tyrant of the Greeks quenched fire with fire in his cruel cauldrons, and in his burning rage brought those 7 sons of the daughter of Abraham to the catapult, and back again to more tortures, pierced the pupils of their eyes, and cut out their tongues, and put them to death with various tortures. For these crimes divine justice pursued, and will pursue the accursed tyrant. But the sons of Abraham, with their victorious mother, are gathered together into the course of the fathers, and have received pure and immortal souls from Yah, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen. The 7 Hebrew sons are that Hebrew mother who stood upon that rock and faced down this tyrant in Jerusalem. Before he came to the conclusion, these Hebrews crazy, they ain't going to do what we say. Let's go on to Persia. He kept it moving. If they was noodle-back cowards, they'd have been gobbling pig's meat like Pig Meat Markham, or Al Sharpton, or Jesse Jackson, or Cash Float Oliver, or T.D. Snakes, and any of these other pig meat eaters. But they stood on it. They endured until the end. And the tyrant got what he had coming, and what he still got coming on the other side of the resurrection. But our ancestors, who we ought to look upon as an example, for this is our true history. They will never teach you this up in their prestigious universities of Harvard and Yale. They won't teach you this over there in England and in Edinburgh and in London, because they don't want you to know this. They want you to know his story, their version. But we name names, for our minds have been unshackled. And we voraciously read, we voraciously research, we voraciously seek out righteousness and truth to bust these crackers' head wide open to the white meat. Now do y'all understand where Brother Jacob come from? Why I got a little fire up under me? Put a 7 up in her if y'all can understand this Shabbat. Please. Torah. Because the truth don't need no support. As we read about the exploits of our ancestors. And we learn from their examples. How Daniel didn't show fear walking into that den of lions. He walked up in there like there was some little old kittens laying up in there. What's up, Leo? How you doing over there, Cleo? Leo and Cleo, come over and let me pet you. They looking down on that man. Is he down in there petting them? He talking to them like they puppies. They come the next morning and he laying all up in the fur, sleeping like Rip Van Winkle on all that soft fur, on them manes. Because he ain't show no fear. He knew he was rolling with the Most High. We are to be inspired by the exploits and the examples of our ancestors who were servants of the Most High, for we are their children, Zion. I pray that somebody understand what Brother Jacob is saying up in here this Shabbat. Their spirit has been passed on to me and you, my ox and a coatees worldwide. That's why we stand on it. That's why we endure. We know this ain't no easy walk, yet we endure it. No matter the challenge, no matter what we face coming from the adversary, we too must endure all of the trials and tribulations, the persecutions, the traps, the pits, and the snares, and all manner of obstacles which will come your way as you continue your walk with the Most High Yah. Another fiery dart that will be thrown at you is temptation. Temptations comes in many forms. There are temptations of the flesh, involving whoredoms and fornications and adulteries. There are evil temptations, doing or thinking or saying things you know ain't right, but the carnal side of you can't help it. There are temptations to eat too much, or drink too much, or spend too much, and on and on and on and on. There are various temptations you must endure in this walk. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 1. And start with verse 1. In the book of James, chapter 1, starting with verse 1, we read, James, a servant of the Most High, and of the Master, Yeshua HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations. Oh yeah, you're going to face various and different temptations. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Some temptations come before you as a test to see just how far along you are on your walk with the Most High. If anybody understood what Brother Jacob just said, if that didn't fly over your head, put an 8 up in her. Some temptations will slide across you at a blink of an eye, out of nowhere. And you looking around and you like, man, ain't nobody looking, is there? Most High doing a spiritual check on you. See how far along in this walk you is. Because you still operating on free will, Zion. Todah. Continue. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, want nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yah, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. You can't be shaky with the Most High. Sometimey, wishy-washy. The Most High don't play that. You can't be lukewarm with the Most High. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the most. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You can't serve two masters. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low. Because as the flower of the grass, he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. Verse 12. Very important. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. For when he is tried, he shall receive a crown of life, which the Most hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yah. For Yah cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. Now don't put it off on the Most High, partner. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then, when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of Yah. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word which is able to save your souls. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness, all that whoremongering, all that nastiness, and superfluity of naughtiness. Put that porn away, because as soon as you start peeking, you're going to start being tempted to do things you know you ought not be doing. It's a temptation. Straight from the devil. Verse 22. But be you doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Ain't nobody looking. Can't nobody see me? Can they see me through that TV? I don't care. Boy, when that fever hits you, and the devil riding you, and the circumstances is right, you will fall head first off a cliff if you ain't careful. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is likened to a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgot what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continue therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Pure religion and undefiled before the Most High and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. We must endure temptations on this walk in all its forms, Zion. And that old, the devil made me do it excuse, that ain't gonna cut it on a day of judgment. Because the Most High will not ever suffer you to be tempted above that you should be able to handle. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. One verse. The Most High ain't going to cause you to be tempted above that you should be able to handle while you on this walk. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, we clearly read, there have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. Ain't nothing that went down and ain't been seen down here before. It's common to man. But Yah is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will, with the temptation, also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. The Most High gonna always give you an out. He always gonna give you an out. There you go riding across town, ready to head to the Hot Sheets Motel with Lil Bobo's gal, Lil Bobo's wife. No, you ought not be doing that. And your senses is up like, man, there's something going on tonight. Am I going to get killed out here doing this? Your spirit ain't right when you know you're doing wrong. And sure enough, you turning a corner on two wheels like Mannix. Can't wait to get to the Hot Chiefs Motel. Been overpowered. And all of a sudden the police cut them lights on and he behind you flashing. And you got things up in the car you ought not be having. And your heart about to jump out your chest. And he's speeding even faster like you the Boston bomber. And at the last minute, he gone and gone around you. And that done shook you up so bad, you done hit a Batman U-turn and you heading home throwing things out the windows, airing out the car. You ready to go home now that you almost had a dance with the devil. You know that night wasn't going to go right no way, because Lil Bobo was hiding out there in that alley waiting on you to go up in the Hot Sheets Motel. He was going to kill you and Lucinda. See, the Most High made a way for you to escape that. And if you going home, hunched down, don't even want to be seen. You at a stoplight, you look over, somebody looking, you turning away like, I don't want to be seen out like this. And when you get home, you know you was wrong for even going out there in the first place. Because Miss Lucinda was going to get you killed. But the Most High gave you an escape route. And your spiritual eye told you to take it. So again, we read in verse 13, there have no temptation taken you, but such as common to man. But the Most High, who is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. If I explain that to where you understood it perfectly, Zion, put a 100 up in her. Because sometimes I have to put these matters in street terms while applying scriptures that understanding might be had from one end of the planet to the other. Todah. Continuing. And this is key. And if your trust is truly in Yah, you know full well that he knows how to deliver those who trust in him out of temptations. Because the longer you are on this walk, you will begin to spiritually grow. And when certain thoughts and temptations come your way, you can eliminate them like that. Like, get behind me, Satan. You tried that back in the summer 2005. Didn't work then, ain't gonna work now. We keeping it moving. Hallelujah. That's when your spirit start waxing stronger and stronger for the Most High. Because you know full well, whatever temptation comes your way, if you truly trust in the Most, you know he can deliver you out of any and all temptations. You know this full well. He knows how to deliver those who trust in him out of temptations. Let's go to 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. Don't believe your brother Jacob. Let's go to the holy word of Yah this Shabbat. In 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9 we read, Yahweh knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Let me read that again. One verse, the Most High Yah knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations. Indeed. And to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment, to be punished. But don't be fooled, Zion. If you come to serve the Most High, you must prepare your soul for temptation. I often warn Israelites of this as they begin their walk. For the devil is in a seductress pasture. Here you is, you ain't the most handsome brother on the block. Looking like Jay-Z with a bell pepper nose, and you know you got a kind of a Hamite forehead. You looking like Idi Amin around the forehead. You know, you ain't the most handsome brother on the set, is what I'm trying to say. But you done got into the word, and you done went to the club, and man, who is this Halle Berry combination? Beyonce looking woman smiling and winking at me over there. Then you try to play it off. You know, you go over there with that Dairy Queen voice. She be like, hey, how you doing, baby? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all, oh, yeah. Would you like a drink? Oh, yeah. Maybe we go out for dinner? Oh, yeah. Ooh, you got a deep, one of them good, deep Barry White voices. Oh, you really start growling like a grizzly there. Oh, yeah. I can see Shmanuya right now up in them clubs. Then you want to go over to the Hot Sheet Motel? Oh, yeah. Now, don't you know that's the devil that sent that vixen on you? And she want to get you over there in that motel and take your soul. Now, these pretty type women ain't never said hi to you a day in your life. And all of a sudden, she want to go out for drinks and movie and a dinner and then to the motel? Don't you know a setup when you see one? But I'm telling you, don't be fooled. If you come to serve the Most High Yah, you must prepare your soul for temptation. Let's go to the book of Sirach. Sirach chapter 2. For those of y'all who ain't got the book of Sirach, we're going to post it up in here. We're going to post it in the video so you can read along with us. We go into the book of Sirach. Let's verify that if you come to serve the Most, you must be prepared for what you got coming. In the Apocrypha, the book of Sirach chapter 2, starting with verse 1, we read, my son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. How you gonna misinterpret that verse? Ain't no room for no error. This verse interprets itself. My son, if thou come to serve the Most High Yah, prepare thy soul for temptation. Verse 2. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away. Don't leave, Yah. Stay on the path that you on, Zion, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Some of y'all lose a job or something go wrong financially and you got to make adjustments. Oh, you want to hurry up and get off the path. Whatever's brought upon you. Hey! Lean on Yah even more. Why? Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. The Most High got to put us in that furnace like fine gold every now and then in order to make us acceptable men before Him. Verse 6. Believe in Him, and He will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in Him. Ask Yah for help, no matter what you're going through. Be it a physical ailment, be it a spiritual ailment, be it a carnal matter. Ye that fear the Most High Yah, wait for His mercy, and go not aside, lest you fall. Ye that fear Yah, believe Him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear Yah, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. I can't stand to be around negative people. Man, it's going to rain, man, and then, man, we ain't going to be able to do this. Oh, man, my back hurt, man, I ain't going to be able to do that. Man, them niggas around are always talking, man. You'll be like, man, is it a moment of the day you feeling all right? Me, I like to be feeling good like a Hebrew should. You know, I like to hope for good. And, you know, think on everlasting joy and mercy. Not whining like I won't need wine and cheese all day. Negro, have some cheese with your wine. Can't stand these whining Negroes. Verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see. Did ever any trust in the Most High and was confounded? Or did any abide in His fear and was forsaken? Or whom did He ever despise that called upon Him? For Yah is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. Woe be the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. I can't stand a trembling, cowardly Negro. Oh, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Oh, what we gonna do? Is that the light peoples tell them I'm not here? That's the Cardinal peoples. Hang up the phone. Oh, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Negro, you about to have a stroke. That's what you about to do. Don't you know that pressure busts pipes? You sitting up there locked up in a fetal position just trembling. Boy, I don't know what to say about you cowards. But woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and a sinner that goeth two ways. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. See, me, call me crazy. I ain't scared. I believe that the Most High gonna defend me to the end. Woe unto you that have lost patience. What will you do when your choir shall visit you? They that fear Yah will not disobey His word, and they that love Him will keep His ways. They that fear Yah will seek that which is well, pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. They that fear Yah will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of Yah, and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy. Hallelujah. If y'all understood this chapter of the book of Sirach, if you understood it perfectly this Shabbat and want to give praise to your Elohim for delivering precious wisdom and knowledge that you might feast upon this Shabbat, if you got it, put a 7 up in her for your brother Jacob, please. Look how them 7s flying across that screen. I know them crackers down there in Langley, Virginia, mad as the devil. Them Khazarian kikes over there in Tel Aviv at the Mossad, they ready to yank every wire loose on the internet. Continuing, Todah, you Israelites. Knowing full well going in, this is not an easy walk. We must endure until the end, you Hebrews. As you go along this spiritual journey with Yah, sometimes you are going to stumble and fall. For we are but flesh. Sometimes you are going to get knocked down and get your feelings hurt. Sometimes you will show that you are indeed flesh and blood. And the onslaught on you sometimes can be so great, being an attack upon your body with some kind of sickness or disease or pain, or on your spiritual soul where you feeling low, that you can begin to feel overwhelmed, and a shadow of doubt or lack of faith may enter into your mind. But all that is gold being tried in the fire, and you becoming acceptable before the Most High in the furnace of adversity. You are being shaped and formed and molded by the Most High. For he wants you to call on him to relieve that pain. He wants you to call upon him to relieve that heartache. And when you at your lowest and you feel you ain't got a friend in the world, and you reduce the calling upon the Most High while crying and tears flowing and snotting, it is as gold being tried in the fire, and you becoming acceptable before the Most High. I pray that each and every one of y'all understand what your brother Jacob is telling y'all this Shabbat. Now check this. Because sometimes what is being put on you is coming directly from the Father in heaven, who chastens us, which means to correct by punishment or suffering. In other words, he's disciplined us. Those who the Holy Abba loves, he chastens. Let's go to the book of Hebrews chapter 12. Somebody need to read this for the first time in their life with total understanding and give praise unto the Elohim. We're in the book of Hebrews chapter 12, starting with verse 1. And I say unto you again, worldwide, with all your getting, get you understanding. We read, wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Yeshua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand at the throne of Yah. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest you be worried and faint in your minds. What you worrying about? Most High gonna pull me through it. You have not resisted unto blood, striving against sin. And you have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of Yahweh, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom Yah loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth. That's a belt across the behind, a whipping, and scourgeth every son whom he received. Let me read that verse again where y'all can clearly understand it. For Yah loveth he, for whom Yah loveth, he punishes, he disciplines, and whips the hind quarter every now and then, every son whom he receiveth. Can't explain it no better than that. Verse 7. If you endure chastening, Yah dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if you be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are you bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Stop right there, Hebrew, for a minute. Now me, your little brother Jacob, very mischievous as a child. Had light fingers as a impressionable young child. I could steal with the best of them. Mama used to tear my tail up. I'd be in a grocery store and see some grapes. I could micro scan that whole store, make sure ain't nobody looking, and 3 or 4 of them grapes was gone, y'all. I got so many whippings for light fingerness it wasn't funny. I remember one time, I was about maybe 10, 11 years old. My mama had went up to my room and found my secret hiding place. And I was outside hee-hawing with Freddie Lewis then. We running and clowning and playing. I want some Kool-Aid. I'm breathing hard. I'm going to run in the house and get me some Kool-Aid. I ran into that back door and looked at that kitchen table. There go all my stolen goods. I tried to, like an invisible ghost, make a 360 and start heading back for that door. And my mama appeared out of nowhere, y'all. And I saw in her hands, she had that cord off that coffee pot. Now, standing there as guilty as sin, I couldn't blame my brother. I couldn't blame my sister. Because all them Hot Wheels and Tonka trucks, she know them was all things that I liked. And all things that I liked fingered. And I got the beating of my life that day, and they stole a piece of gum since. Because my mom went crazy on me. I guess she said she was going to drive that demon out of me before I start stealing out her purse or something. I ran through that house. I was screaming and hollering. I even got to the point of asking my friends to come and save me. Because I knew they heard me hollering and getting beat all about the neck. One lick on the back of the neck, a next one in the small of the back. Then she hit me on the ankles and I crashed into the coffee table. And I gave her a look like, will you please have compassion on your child? And you know, I thank my mama to this day that she broke that spirit out y'all little brother Jacob, because these police would have killed me and locked me up. That was a transgression before Yah. And I reverence the beatings that I got. I didn't like them at the time. I can remember getting whippings and walking away mumbling under my breath. Y'all know y'all did it too. You walk away looking all under-eyed and, oh, mean lady. They tell you won't punish me. You can't go outside. You look out the window, everybody out there having fun. The birds chirping, the sun out, the butterflies flying. You can't even watch TV. You looking at the old gal, and she hollering out, what you say? Nothing. Oh, sir, I heard some more, I ain't saying nothing. Because you ain't want to see that coffee pot cord no more. But as you grew older, and you still at 50 years old saying, yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, yes, sir, and no, sir, you got respect for your elder. You appreciate the upbringing that you got. Because they didn't spare the rod nor spoil the child. And you reverence your people for that chastening that you receive. Ought we not reverence the Most High when he chastens us, Zion? If y'all understand that, put a 1,000 up in her. If you love your mom and your pop for giving you that good discipline which raised you up into somebody that got good sense, ought not we reverence the Most High when he spiritually put it on us for getting out of line? Told Yah, I knew somebody was going to get it. Hallelujah. Yah is a consuming fire. He don't play. If you get out of line while you are on your spiritual walk with him, there will be discipline dished out. This is not an easy walk, Zion. We must overcome in order to walk in victory into the kingdom. We may appear battle weary at times on this walk, but let us always remember that in Yahushua HaMashiach we will overcome. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 1 through 10. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 1 through 10, we read, therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not. No, we stand with our boots on, with strong hands, with our back straight and our head up, but have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of Yah deceitfully, but by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of Yah. But if our gospel, our good news be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, and whom the God of this world, the devil and Satan, have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of Yah, should shine unto them. For we preach not of ourselves, but Yeshua Hamashiach, the Master, and ourselves your servants for Yeshua's sake. For Yah, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, have shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of Yah in the face of Yeshua HaMashiach. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of Yah and not of us. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body the dying of the Master Yeshua, that the life also of Yahushua might be made manifest in our body. Hallelujah! Yeah, we may be persecuted, but we ain't forsaken. Yeah, we may get knocked down, but I ain't destroyed. I'm getting back up. I'm ready for some more haymakers and jawbreakers. I refuse to get off this path that I'm on in this walk with the Most High Yah. Even though Yahushua was tortured and bruised, he overcame the world. The reward is great to all of us who overcomes. Let's go to Revelation 2 and 7, one verse. In the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 7, we clearly read, He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of Elohim. 2 and 11, our key. Revelation. We stand in the book of Revelation. Chapter 2, verse 11. We read, He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Do you see that? Can't be no clearer. Revelation chapter 2, verse 17. We read, He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. We read, And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Next time you are tempted or trouble or persecution finds you. Ponder these scriptures, Zion. Revelation chapter 3, verse 5. One verse. In Revelation chapter 3, verse 5, we clearly read, he that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. Revelation chapter 3, verse 12. We read, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my Elohim, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my Elohim, and the name of the city of my Elohim, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my Elohim. And I will write upon him my new name. This is not an easy walk that you are on with the Most High Yisrael. For you are in the midst of battle. The battle of eternal life or eternal damnation. Revelation chapter 3, verse 21, one verse, we read, to him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame, and am set down with my Father in his throne. I'm here to tell you, Zion, when the dark storm clouds of trouble gather around you, let us believe, Yah, that we can overcome it with his strength. Revelation chapter 12, verse 11, Aki. I like to whoop our enemies down with multiple scriptures, like shots fired from one end of the world to the other. In Revelation chapter 12, verse 11, we clearly read, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Each and every one of us has a testimonial of how rough the road can be while you are on your spiritual walk with the Most High Yah. Whether you have been on this walk for 50 days or 50 years, we can all relate. No matter how rough at times your walk may get, always trust in the Most High. Never let your feet be moved from upon our rock, Yahushua HaMashiach. And always remember, you Israelites, this is not an easy walk. That's our lesson. Your brother Jacob prays that it was well received in this hour. I pray that it was good for understanding. That you Hebrews understand that you're not alone. For the attacks against the chosen of the Most High, they come long and they come strong. But always remember that he that overcomes has things reserved for them at the hands of the Most High that are much to be had. For Yah's merciful, and he is with us. Let it be known, Zion, that in troublous times of head and troubles you may be going through now, you may have a physical ailment. Call on Yah. Your heart may be heavy for this. Your heart may be heavy for that. Trust in Yah. In all things, understand, Zion. Yah hears you. Yah loves you. And it pleases him that you call upon his holy name. Sometimes Yah has to bring us to our knees before we truly call upon him in truth and sincerity. Some of you brothers try to be the hardest brother standing on the block, but I can see you now, weeping like Mom's Mabley, face toe all up, looking like a gorilla sucking on a lemon, just ugly. Help me, Father, help me. Oh, help me, help me, help me. Sometimes you got to be brought to that point. Sometimes the Most High got to get your attention, partner. We fall down. We get back up. We get knocked down. We get back up. We stay upon the path that we have chosen, being servants of our Elohim. This lesson was a gift from me to you, Zion, given freely from your little brother Jacob's heart. I pray that it was good for understanding, and it might have helped one of my ox or our coatees in this hour and for the hours that come. So again, that's our lesson. This is not an easy walk. Don't be fooled by a long shot, Zion.